Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here with another Feeding Frenzy for the Master Key System. We're on part 5, number 2.
The subconscious can and will solve any problems for us if we know how to direct it. The subconscious processes are always at work. The only question is, are we to be simply passive recipients of this activity, or are we to consciously direct the work? Shall we have a vision of the destination to be reached, the dangers to be avoided, or shall we simply drift?
Makes
a lot
sense.
like we were talking about before.
Yeah.
That some people are just drifting through life. I was just drifting
Mhm.
through life until I was 30. You know, I thought that I am a victim or a process or a, what am I trying to say?
Byproduct.
Byproduct of what happens to me, of
Mhm.
the external factors that happen in my life.
Mhm.
You know, oh, this might happen and that might happen, and I need to be prepared for all those things. And yet I didn't realize that I create those things as I go, or I have the chance to direct my life in the direction I want it to go,
Mhm.
or to change the way it's headed. You know, I thought things happen and I'm either there or I'm not, and
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it's up to me, you know.
Mhm.
So I believe I woke up when my kids were born at 31. I mean, my first one was
Really?
born.
So what woke you?
Having a baby and him being sick, and he was really sick, and I wanted to be home with him.
Yeah.
And at the time I had a job. I thought before he was born, oh well, I'll just do like everybody else. I didn't know there was anybody different than the ones I was around.
Mhm.
Who they go to work, they get a good job, they have kids, they put them in daycare, and just go on with their life. And I didn't realize. Everybody told me a kid would change my life, but I wasn't ready
Right.
for it.
Right.
And when he was sick then, and I was having to leave him at daycare an hour away from where I was working, it was killing me.
Mhm.
I was crying every day there and all the way home and all during the day, and I couldn't get my work done, and I loved my job. It wasn't that at all. I just hated being away from him. He changed my life. I mean, for the better, but it was a miserable time in my life to be away from him, especially knowing he was sick.
Yeah.
And he had asthma really bad, so you didn't know when he was going to get sick, and it was killing me.
Mhm.
And it made me start questioning a lot of things. But the thing that really woke me up was when he was 7 or 8 days old, he had this knot come up on the side of his head. And I thought, okay, I'll take him to the doctor. The doctor will know exactly what's wrong and will help me get it fixed right away. Well, the only thing the doctor said was, well, let's get him x-rayed. Well, the x-ray technician comes out and said, I wouldn't x-ray a baby that small. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, if the doctor's not telling me the truth, then what other things have I believed in that aren't true? And I started questioning everything.
Really?
And it woke me up. And from that point, after questioning everything I'd been taught, especially about the authority and the people who were going to take care of me, I just thought the government and everybody else is wanting to take care of me.
Mhm.
Well, then to find out nobody's really taking care of me but me
Mhm.
was a huge eye-opener for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from that point on, it was like, oh my goodness, I need to really figure out what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
And not depend on everybody else to tell me what to do or how to do it, you know? To start thinking for myself. I think it's the biggest part of it, is to start thinking
Yeah.
for myself and not just going along like a lemming with the rest of the crowd.
I really think that's our moment of awakening, is when we start to question, wait a minute, that's not making sense for me.
Yeah.
And we start looking at our environment and where things fit and where they don't, and do I fit any longer? I think we start blowing the dust off,
Well,
so to
there's
speak,
a lot of,
of our questioning, and we start looking at things differently and trying new things out. And then when we come to the realization, hey, I truly do create what I'm living here, I think that's when we truly wake up.
well, and when we realize that, well, there's a lot of things going on here, but I think one of the biggest was I finally started realizing that, hey, I am different from everybody else, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't want to be just like everybody else. I want to be different because that's who I am. And start looking at the things I'm doing just to please everybody else, or just to fit in,
Yeah.
or just not to stand out, you know, and realizing that the people who do stand out, the people who are different and admit it, are the ones who really succeed in this life. You know, and so it was really when my growth started. You know, well, it was a big deal, and it still is. And I haven't quit growing since then. And I have this thirst for knowledge that I can't quench, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And that's the way I want it to be.
Yeah,
You know,
that's good stuff.
that's very good stuff.
Shrink.